Welcome. Today we're going to be talking, myself, Em Bowen, and Dr. Christine Bowen. We're going to be talking about the problem with New Year's resolutions, why they don't work, and what we can do instead. Welcome back. So, Christine, before we showed the intro, I said we want to talk about why New Year's resolutions don't work. That's something that you and I share belief about that, but maybe we can unpack that a little for folks. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I definitely have succumbed to this many times in my past. And we see the ads, it's all diet culture. Basically saying now's the time. New Year's is past, holidays are past. Okay, knuckle down and let's all lose weight and let's do this, restrictive whatever plan for this limited period of time. Well, self care is actually a full time job, it doesn't stop. And so, this is the belief that if you put in a lot of effort for 1 month, possibly even just starving yourself, as many of the plans are so calorie restricted and things like that, just starving yourself, breaking your metabolism. But doing things for a month makes you think, well, I did it, check, it's done. But really, this is an ongoing process, and it gets us into this weird belief that that's all you need to do is 1 month a year of self-care to be able to really create better health for yourself. We don't subscribe to health, the picture of health being somebody with a certain size or shape of body. That's not something that we subscribe to. And then also, we don't really love the word diet. So we'll say it sometimes, dietary needs or something like that. But we know that a lot of harm has been done in the name of the word diet. And so we really try to leave it out of our programs, leave it out of our conversations, and we speak more about nutrition. So, nutrition for improving your health is something that you can work on every single day of your life. And that it's not something that has this time limited, check, I did it, uh, moment. It's not just a month out of the year, it's all 12 months, it's all of the days. And health doesn't have to look a certain way. So it's about what it means to you. So, what does health feel like for you, Em?
Health feels like, if I can kind of share one of my favorite authors, poets, activists, Sonia Renee Taylor talks about it being radical self-love.
Ooh.
And this is in the face of the diet industrial complex, which specifically harms Black women, Indigenous women, other women of color at a disproportionate rate. But it harms all of us who think that there's one silhouette that means that we're healthy or attractive or worthy of love and care and concern. So for me, it is giving myself a break,
Mm.
trying things. We really want to encourage people to try some of the programs or courses that we have, not as a punishment for anything, not as anything that anyone should have to generate or experience any shame around, but as experiments of, does this help me love my body better? Does this decrease the pain and fatigue I'm experiencing? So that's a big deal for me. And I also want to say, like, I really believe in kind of honoring the seasons, and
Hmm.
the wintertime is one where we reflect on what we did before, and sometimes we get a certain amount of energy about, like, maybe I didn't get the results I wanted this year. So there can be this push with the New Year's resolution to change something,
Hmm.
to be like, it's a new year, a new opportunity to change something. And it's fine, but don't get that over expensive gym membership. Don't sign up for these diet plans that don't have any sustainability
Mm-hmm.
other than continuing to have the same people be their clients over and over because, like you said, we're breaking people's metabolisms. We're not. I was on a lot of diets when I was younger. They were very high sugar, very low fat. A lot of us don't have gallbladders anymore because of those kinds of diets and the impact they had on our bodies. So while I really want to be cautious around people who know they have what we kind of call disordered eating issues, that maybe it is just adding, like you're saying, nutrition, adding some more nutrient dense foods to your meals, recognizing that you deserve to be nourished.
Having more fruit and vegetables every day. Something
Yeah,
like that, where you're
absolutely.
just like, I have a goal, but it's something that I want to incorporate into my lifestyle and have
Right,
it be a piece of what I do for self love and self care ongoing. So, if you have access to fresh fruit and vegetables, not everybody does. If you have
yeah,
access to fresh fruit and vegetables, that would be wonderful for you to pick that. It's about what you could add to your self care routines instead of what you're taking away for this limited period of time. So
right.
what? Yeah, I think you
And
were encouraged.
I was going to say, when you mention about being able to afford it, a lot of folks who have EBT or food stamps or whatever is available in your area are able to use those benefits at farmers markets.
And they count double.
Yeah, yeah, you can even use it. It becomes the equivalent of doubling your money to buy these nutritious foods. So um,
Or things
we
like
love to help
measurable
people
program.
who deal with some barriers, but for folks who that's been kind of a sticking point to know that you can access that. And there are things that we can do if we're just going to pick one thing to incorporate. Habit formation takes a while. There's a lot of science out there. We try to incorporate it into the ways that we help folks. But taking one small, you know, uh, challenge that you know that you have that you're ready to work on. For me, it's been things like setting a bedtime, and I've got all of these devices in my house that are kind of set up to encourage me to go to bed. Lights turn off, soft music starts playing, blue blockers are on all of my devices, and just having strategies like that might help you more consistently get a good night's sleep, or if not a good night's sleep, because we want to let people know, we know that some folks have pain that keeps them from sleeping well. Still rest, your body still gets to repair with some rest. So that would be an act of radical self-love, is to carve out the time for that, and that's going to be so much better for you than maniacally exercising for
For one
hours
month until
every
you
day.
injure yourself.
Right,
It's like
right.
the I won't give the initials of a certain program that's very intense. That a lot of my patients, it was like January. It's like, okay, we're gonna get about 10 injuries from people doing this really intense workout program. What if they were to instead have said, every day I'm going to do 5 minutes of just these few stretches to be able to
Right,
help me out? Those stretches are very unlikely to give you some, injuries
right.
versus something like
Everything.
going really intense into something that your body is maybe not ready to do. So listen to
Right,
your body and see what it might like, and do that. So when you're sitting on the couch, can you be stretching? Are there, oh, that reminds me. If anybody does want a self care, body care routine, M is a master at using the Theracane. So,
yes.
Em, did you want to talk just a little bit about when we're talking about body love, self care? Tell us a little bit about the Theracane.
Well, I love that you brought that up, and I think maybe I'll do a separate video where I'll just do
Up
like
front.
a 10-minute walkthrough of how to use this tool to massage yourself. But yeah, it's a tool, it's a hook, kind of like a cane, um, that has different surfaces and is set up to have leverage such that you can massage, spots that we all wish we could reach, like in the middle of our back between our shoulder blades. You can actually get in there. You can get kind of under the base of the skull. You can work on your forearms if they're tight from, working with a mouse and keyboard all day.
Mhm.
There's strategies.
Holding our
My
heads up all the time will hurt these muscles so much, but then being at a computer, it's like your head is forward there. So those spots, especially being able to get those spots.
Absolutely.
So
I
it's
do every morning I take a hot Epsom salt bath.
lovely.
And that is, I've had people kind of act like they were jealous, and it's like, well, it's a thing. As long as you have a bathtub, I recognize that privilege. But
Yeah, many
if you
can
have
do
a
this.
bathtub, you can take a bath in the morning or in the evening, whatever works with your routine and how your household operates. But to me, that's another place where I get to relax and just be with myself, wind down, let my blood pressure come down, let my muscular tension ease away. And I know I'm less likely to get injured as a massage therapist during my workday. I'm much less likely to get injured if I have done this relaxing, and then doing some basic stretches at the end of the day help me sleep better.
Yeah, massage is can be so physically demanding, and so you taking good care of your tool is so necessary for you to be able to continue doing such an endurance activity for part of your living, right?
Well, yeah, and I just wish that I mean, it's really obvious as a massage therapist, as a physical laborer, but I'd love for more people to recognize how important their bodies are.
Hmm.
Like, your body is important.
Hmm.
It's not just your vehicle that gets you to and from work. It's you. It's your nervous system. It's the tenderness. It's the parts of you that can be touched and embraced and held, and simple things like applying the lotion and taking time, or dry brushing. Great for your circulation, great for your skin health, but also great to let you know that you treasure you value you show up for you. Setting boundaries can be incredible habit formation, to just know that you deserve to say no sometimes, and know that the people who truly truly love you will love you standing up for yourself, and creating that. The only people who don't like your boundaries are people who want to overutilize your life force for themselves. And as upsetting as it can be when those people push back when we say no or not right now, it's okay to learn that about your relationship dynamics. So you can put more energy into the relationships where people love you, love your no, love your yes. Because if you can't say no, is it really an authentic yes? Or is it an obligation? So that's another habit that I would encourage people to start playing with. Play with somebody safe.
Yeah,
Christine is somebody who I can say no to, and she won't leave me behind. She won't cut me out. She will say, like, oh,
it's like
okay,
actually that doesn't work for me, and it's like, oh, good, yeah, good job saying that doesn't work for you, and also what else might work for you. That's
right.
somebody who will listen, or possibly modify the plan based off of what will work for you.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that came up for me when we're talking about all these things that we could possibly be doing for self-love and self-care is, what if at your core you're not starting out with the solid belief that you deserve self-love and self-care? What if you have poor self-image, or if you've things have been really tough, and that leaves you feeling less than, and maybe it's not as easy to show up for yourself in these ways if you're starting with a core belief, whether or not you speak it out loud, but you kind of feel like, do I deserve these things? Like, what if that's where you're starting? What would you suggest for somebody who's starting there and struggling with self-worth?
Well, I think everybody deserves a therapist.
Mm,
So that is one of the starting places. Um, and, again, speaking to privilege, not everybody has access, but a lot of people do. A lot of people have employer paid plans that they can use for like employee assistance. That's usually a counseling benefit. Um, and a lot of insurance programs, even some of the ones for folks who have very fixed incomes, will have mental health benefits.
mhm.
Um, because everyone deserves an ally, and we deserve to have somebody who can check our skewed perception. A lot of folks have grown up in families that didn't really validate them, or relationships that really messed with their belief that they were lovable and worthwhile. To anybody watching, you are lovable and worthwhile. That's your birthright. It's no one should be able to take away your sense of that. So maybe it's a reclamation of that sense that you can have. And it doesn't have to be formal therapy. I know there are people who've been harmed in formal therapy.
Mm,
Want
mhm.
to acknowledge that. A lot of folks are going to do better if they have affirming therapy, even with therapists that look like them or have gone through similar things in life, so that they really get them. But there's other spiritual practices, leaning more into your faith, journaling. There's so many ways that people are coming together in
Book,
community,
you know,
right?
following somebody that um, you really are aligned with, and then even just looking for like techniques that to increase self-esteem or something like that, or being able to work on self-worth. But I was thinking of one thing too, would just be like a daily affirmation, self,
Mm-hmm.
being worth it. Like, you are worth it. Being able to just say, you deserve love, you deserve kindness, you deserve compassion. And
Right? You
it
can write it on your mirror in like
something that's just like
water
starting with
color
reinforcement.
markers.
And even if you still have that core belief inside that you're like, nah, not really, I don't really feel like I deserve all of these nice things. It's like, well, you do. We're here to tell you you do. But then sometimes you have to start just reinforcing that thought before your heart comes along on that journey. That it may take a little while of being like, I love myself for all that I am and all that I'm not. Uh,
Mm,
and that's great. And this is just basically like every day, I love myself for all that I am and all that I am not. That's it. Like, is
I
that
love
is that the
that.
thing that you can do every single day to show up for yourself? Or I deserve to be able to say no and have that be okay. Are there things that just like
Right.
one little statement that you're saying to yourself every day to just reinforce these thoughts, so that then you can take even more actions for showing, ways that you can show up for yourself. But it's like you almost have to have that healthy foundation to be able to start to build your self-esteem or self-worth or self-care house on top of it, right?
Right, totally. And I think, kind of cousin to the affirmation is gratitude, right? And
Mhm.
so I've noticed since 2018, since I exited a bad relationship and just really declared I was going to take a lot of time for me. And I wasn't going to try to be in relationship with other people. I was just going to seek out, like, what do I want to do with my career? What do I want to do with volunteering? What do I want my life to look like, regardless of partners? Because I'd always been too focused on partner and their existence validating mine. And so it was like, how do I validate my existence, just based on me?
Mhm.
And what I noticed as I was doing that is I kept, like, just to myself, but often out loud. I'd be like walking down the street, or, just finishing an interaction that felt particularly profound with a client or a friend, and or just walking my dog around the neighborhood, and out of my mouth is, I love my life. Or I love that I get to be me. I love being me. And that's really what I would wish for so many people, is to have the joy. That doesn't mean that there isn't still hardship and challenge and stressors, but like being the most resourced, the most well taken care of by you version of you could create similar outbursts in your life.
Outbursts of joy and gratitude. We hope, yeah, we hope that those are regular experiences for everybody to be able to, yeah, live in gratitude. And especially when we feel like there are sometimes things that we can't do, or that we feel like there are some limitations, that it's really important to celebrate the things that we don't, the areas that we don't feel limitations in, like our capacity for love, or our capacity to receive love, or those
Yeah.
things might not have the same sort of mobility limitations that we might have when we're in flares of autoimmunity. So basically our encouragement this year is to not do a time limited, put away the tape measure, uh
Yeah.
put away the tape measure, put away the scale, and instead pick a way that you can show up for yourself ongoing, and let this be one of many beautiful self-care habits that we hope you will be building on as the years go along, because you're worth it, and this is your right to be healthy and happy. And so was thinking, what does health look like for me? And I guess it would be, good energy, and, my body not hurting, and being able to have good sleep. Just feeling like I can have a better idea of what my how I'm showing up each day too. So good health is not just how my body feels, but also how my brain feels. And just, am I showing up with a chip on my shoulder and I'm angry about this or that? Or am I showing up wholehearted, and really curious about other people's experiences? I feel like, yeah, showing up with a compassionate heart and an open brain and a body that isn't screaming. Those are some of the things that look like health for me. It's not necessarily a number on the scale. It's not how my clothes fit. I mean, I like to have my clothes look nice, but it's like, just it's it's not just about it's not about a size. Yeah.
No, yeah, get nice clothes in the size your body happens to
Yeah,
be today.
exactly.
And
Don't say
don't
I
have
would be
a
happy.
judgment about what it should or shouldn't be. You don't, there are so many things that we don't judge for being different over time. But we've really learned that we're supposed to judge our youthfulness, our size for being different over time. And when you think of all the things you've been through, of course you've changed, and
We
those changes aren't bad. But we hope that you will select just one way to be more loving, supportive, have your own back, celebrate who you are and your gifts that only you bring to the planet, and to yourself.
That's awesome. Well, Happy New Year, everyone. And with that, pick one of those things, just one, to incorporate, and know that we love you and we think that you're worth fighting for every single day.
Absolutely.
So hopefully you believe that too. We'll see you soon.
Please subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell to be notified when we post new content.
Make sure to follow us on Facebook and other social media.